All
We
right.
are live.
Well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I am one of your hosts, the birthday boy, LeRon Dawkins, better known as PC Muscle Race himself. Hey, how's it going, everyone, tonight? I'm glad you're all out here watching and or listening. Yes, please, shower me with the adoration, please. I want to go ahead and introduce our co-host tonight. You know her, you love her, the med pharmacist, Stephanie Klimov. How's it going?
It's going. Just trying up a little different setup for the podcast, and I'm struggling a little bit, but I am here. Hello, exciting week, and happy birthday.
Thank you. And also back on the show, the man that we love to hate with the most controversial takes, Mr. Corey Deering.
Whoa, I didn't know Ed was on the show.
Whoa.
You're filling in for him tonight. Didn't you know?
Oh, yeah. It's funny because Ed and I have a inside joke going where anytime I say something like him, I'll just send him a meme that says, I love being black. But it's me. Because I'm clearly, pasty white toothpaste. So
Corey, we're gonna have a conversation after the show's over.
Mhm. They call me white chocolate, LeRon.
Oh my gosh. Well, did you know white chocolate isn't real chocolate?
I know.
That's
Just like I'm not a real just like I'm not a real black person. I love you guys. This makes me happy.
And back with us for another wonderful, exciting, fun-filled show is my dear friend, my fellow Crossroads road mate, the wonderful Nellie Lott. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Happy to be here as always. Oh my god.
Glad to see you.
Yes,
See you.
See everyone.
How's everybody been? I'm pretty sure Nellie and Stephanie are down because there's no cons going on. There's no PAX. There's no conventions. There's no place Stephanie can raid for swag right now.
Wait.
I know, I'm getting withdrawals.
Oh, hold on. Nellie's got something.
We have Spooky Empire that's coming up this month. Okay, I will be there. And then we have
What is that?
It's a focused around horror.
Nice.
So it's like a horror convention.
Okay.
Well,
Simon Pegg is gonna be there, so I have to go.
Simon Pegg's gonna be there. What is it?
Simon Pegg?
What's it promoting? Mission Impossible, right?
What is
it
this
doesn't have
movie?
another horror movie coming out.
No. So Shaun of the Dead is one of his biggest ones. They're gonna do a movie night. So
is that really horror though?
I mean, it's kind
A
of
horror parody, yeah.
It's
I
horror
love it.
comedy, right? That's
Yeah.
what they call it.
Yeah.
And then there is GCX, which is another gaming convention that I never heard of, but I'm gonna go and see what's up. And then there's another convention called Animate, and it's focused around animation. So it's gonna be voice actors and gamers and cosplayers there. And then that's in August, and then there's PAX West. So
Are you going to all that?
I'm gonna try.
That's awesome.
Never say die.
So yeah.
What are you supposed to say, LeRon? What are you
What?
supposed to say instead of that?
I don't know. You just never say die. That's the spirit.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights. I want to go to that too, but that's not a convention.
Universal's bringing back their Last of Us thing this year, I guess.
They doing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh boy.
All right, Nelly, since you opened the door, what's your favorite scary movie?
Ooh, I don't really have one.
Scary movie.
I mean, Regina Hall is what make that movie work. What makes those movies work.
Exorcist.
Wait, who?
Regina, the black girl.
I've never seen that movie.
You haven't seen any of the? Oh my! I can't read. Yep.
Are you really that shocked, LeRon? Come on.
It's not that. Like, come on. Like, you've been on the internet long enough, though. You've seen the memes.
Yeah, but I don't know what any of them mean.
Random black girl, random white girl running from a skeleton, and the white girl trips. You've seen this.
I don't think I have, actually.
I'm sliding your DMs again.
Man, 2 for 1 tonight.
God.
Awesome.
Oh my God. Oh my God. My favorite scary movie has got to be Aliens. Like the James Cameron, the James Cameron one, not the.
I thought that was an action
Ridley
movie.
Scott.
Is that not like action?
It was horror for me back when I saw it at 11 years old. That was horror.
Oh.
I know, right? Yeah. Someone please help Corey.
I hate horror movies. So my favorite horror movie is 13 Cloverfield Lane because it's like horror light, like psychological mind F.
Yo, John Goodman played a very good bad guy.
Yes, he did. Oh man, he just gives me the chills.
Yeah, like man, like talk about an actor that has range when you don't really sometimes you can look at someone and like man, I didn't think they had that much range. Like John Goodman's one of those actors.
Okay, Corey, check your Blue Sky.
I see. I have like 8,000 notifications on Blue Sky though. I need to turn those off.
Mine are more important.
LeRon disappeared. He doesn't like me anymore. Well, time to take show back, LeRon. Sorry. Yeah. Let's see. Video games, huh? Switch 2 this week. Very excited.
Very, very excited.
So, Stephanie, did you pre-order any games, or are you just going to try to buy some on the day of?
Oddly enough, I did not pre-order any games because I couldn't friggin' make up my mind if I wanted to buy them digitally or in person, and I wanted to somehow trick myself into thinking I wasn't spending a lot of money when I pre-ordered my console. So I'm just gonna go to a store on Friday and just pick up what I have there. Because I pre-ordered the console, and that was like kind of the most important thing to make sure I could secure.
Yeah.
Corey, you know what, Corey? Actually,
what?
before I do this, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. This is the Boss Rush Podcast, the flagship podcast of the Boss Rush Network, and of course, Boss Rush Media and you know that deal. We record each and every episode live on Twitch, YouTube, and X/Twitter every Tuesday night. So please come and hang out with us. Be a part of the conversation in our live chat. Shout out to Britt Drossier. Shout out. We see you. And please give us a follow while you are there. If you'd like to support Boss Rush, please, you can check out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can gain early and exclusive access to content like the Boss Rush Podcast, Patreon pre-show, that is. I don't know why I took that pause right there between that, but yeah, the Boss Rush Podcast Patreon pre-show, as well as Expansion Pass. You can also become a Patreon producer and much more just by checking it out. Please do us a favor, go there. Make it happen. As always, if you can't support us financially or join us live, your listenership and viewership is always enough for us. So please.
No, it's not. Get out. I'm just kidding. Please stay.
Corey said it.
I'm just kidding. Please
Corey
stay.
said it. Corey said it.
I said please stay.
Please.
I also said that to an ex-girlfriend. That was bad news. Don't do
that. Were they an ex before or after you said that?
Yes.
Okay, we don't really like begging here, but please subscribe to Boss Rush on YouTube and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, also please consider leaving us a 5-star rating and a review or even a comment. It'll help with our discoverability as well as our growth. We thank you for that. New episodes post every Thursday morning on the podcast apps, YouTube, and on our website. That's bossrush.net. Now that I've gotten that out the way, Corey.
Yes.
I want to ask you this, and I want to ask you this, being really serious right now. Out of all the launch titles for Switch 2, what's the one I should pick up? What if I can only pick up one? What's the one I should pick up?
Why are you asking him?
I'm going to ask you next, Stephanie. I'm going to ask you next, please.
It should be lady
Corey. Corey hosts Nintendo Power Block, so I'm giving him the right of way.
I know.
Stephanie's there sometimes. And launch titles.
Okay, and also think about me playing it.
I know. I am. So I wouldn't say Cyberpunk because you want that to look shiny, clean. You want that sweat coming out of your monitors.
I might double dip though, because
I'm getting it for Switch too.
Because honestly, the Switch 2 is a grand experiment for me. Like, I just want to see what the hardware can do, because like we've lived in that phantom zone of Switch for like 8 years now. I just want to see what the successor to the Switch can do.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like launch things,
don't you dare say Mario Kart.
No, like here's the thing, I'm not really that excited for Mario Kart. It's just the launch game, and I'm gonna get it anyway, so I just got the bundle, right? But
while he's thinking, I'm just gonna jump in anyway, because I wrote a Boss Rush banter on this, because I am people tend to be on both ends of the spectrum, but I'm in the middle. Like, I'm excited for Switch 2. It is a decent launch lineup of games. It's not my favorite launch lineup. Like, there's none that I'm actually like, let's go, like for the Switch with Breath of the Wild. Like, for me, I'm like, it's all right. For me, again, it's for me. So
no, I'm liking where you're going, because like I feel like more people need to temper expectations. I really do.
Yeah,
and like Mario Kart is a safe, just general bet, but what I chose Cyberpunk in my article because I want to test the limits of the Switch 2. And I think that might be something that you might get as someone who's interested in specs and seeing how far a system can go. But I also think too, I don't know, like, I know you're more of a Tekken guy, but what do you think about Street Fighter 6?
I do like Street Fighter 6, but I feel like I've moved so far past Street Fighter. Like, Street Fighter did something when Street Fighter 4 came out that really like kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Not saying the game is bad. Like, it just really messed with my like sensibility for how Street Fighter plays. Because like I've been playing Street Fighter since like like the Street Fighter 2 days, and stuff like that. Back when there's only 8 characters in the roster. And stuff like that, and then, and Street Fighter 4 comes out, and Street Fighter 4 was a wonderfully looking game, played well and stuff like that, but just a lot of the conventions about Street Fighter 4 I just never wrapped my head around, and of course they've continued, from 4 to 6 and stuff like that, and so I don't have any real disrespect for Street Fighter 6 or just Street Fighter in general at this point, but it's just more like, like it just did something to me that I'm not gonna say I can't forgive, but it was enough to break my immersion into the game series and stuff like that. Now, that being said, Street Fighter 6 though, like I can see myself playing that. Like, I just don't know which system I would play it on. Would I play it on PC or would I actually play it on Switch? Because I did have the demo on my ROG Ally, and it played fun. It played fine, stuff like that. But I was like, man, I just rather play Tekken. It's not a diss though. It's not a diss.
I think fighting games, it's just really hard to like improve on them at this point. I mean, it's kind of like racing games, right? Where you can only do so much before like, you're going to have to either make something brand new that not a lot of people will go to because it's not recognizable, or you just have to keep pumping out the same thing, right? And it's like, I mean, look at Mortal Kombat 1, right? There wasn't anything really wrong with Mortal Kombat, but like they just put out Mortal Kombat 11, so like, you know, it's kind of the same thing, and that is going to hinder a franchise at some point. I mean, look at Forza, right? That has had diminishing returns for almost 2 decades at this point, but it was so good when it came out that, like, you know, you play it now, it still feels the same, but what do you do to a racing game or a fighting game to change it up? You know, I mean, you can always introduce new characters, I guess, but ultimately you can't introduce too many because they have to balance with the the already existing characters. So I don't know. That's always kind of been a thing about fighting games for me, is like, I don't know how you, like, I mean, even look at Smash, right? Like, sure, you get the hardcore people who are like, oh, Mario moves at 1.0005 the speed of, you know, whatever. But like, it's been the same since the GameCube, essentially. Like, what do you do different? So you just bring everybody back, I guess.
All right. So after buying you some time, Corey, what's your recommendation for LeRon?
So I'm looking on here. I think, like, I feel like LeRon, I mean, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut might. See, man, this is tough. This is tough for LeRon because there's nothing on here that screams LeRon.
See, yeah, I was like,
I mean, Fast Fusion might.
Actually. Oh, I know. Nintendo, what is that? Switch 2 World Tour.
I pre-ordered it. It's $10.
Did I even pay attention to that?
50 plus mini games. Very excited.
Do you get to milk a cow?
No.
Aww.
Not this time. You can't even milk the original cow. The infrared sensor doesn't work on Switch 2.
Dang it.
So that cow is gone to pasture, as they say.
Let's see.
I would say that, or maybe Hitman might be interesting to play on the go. Kinutsugami is coming to Switch 2, which might be the place that game finds an audience. Honestly, to me, like, the Switch 2 launch doesn't even start until Donkey Kong comes out.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, you look at the follow-up games like, you know, Kirby Air Riders and, you know, Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon. Like, there's a lot coming out after Donkey Kong that's like, oh my gosh, slow down. Like, I don't have that much time. But until Donkey Kong comes out, it's like, well, I mean, I guess I can play these third-party games, which, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for. I have Hogwarts Legacy coming there because it was a $10 upgrade, and I bought it on the Switch to talk about it on Palblock. So that's cool, and Cyberpunk is a definite yes for me. But like, these are games I've played, right? And there's a lot of stuff on this list that just aren't, you know, Split Fiction. I'm excited for Split Fiction because I didn't buy it, and that was a place. Awesome. Yeah.
This is the time I wish Cousin was on. We could talk about that game all day.
So I'm gonna level with you, LeRon. I think it's either Fast Fusion or Yakuza for you.
Okay, Stephanie, what's your verdict? Was it Street Fighter 6?
No, I was just, that was more of a think out loud. I was thinking of Cyberpunk, and honestly, and I'm not just saying it because Corey said I was debating Yakuza, but I just couldn't recall if you were a fan of the Yakuza franchise. So,
I like the Yakuza franchise. I don't give it enough love. Like, I mean, like, I haven't played the games enough, if that makes any sense. I like it though, because the Yakuza series was filling an itch Shenmue left behind.
Yeah, so I would agree with Corey's recommendation, and then just Cyberpunk. That was kind of my primary one.
Yeah, like, it feels like Cyberpunk probably is the way to go. Like, given that I didn't buy Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch, I will probably get that. But I'm not in a big hurry to get that because I never beat Breath of the Wild, so I might just go ahead and get both of them, even though I own Breath of the Wild on the Switch.
Hey, well, might as well. I mean, I'm excited to play. I'm not sure if I'll play both, but I'm definitely going to play one. The first thing I'm going to do is set the field on fire, and watch like it not chug for once, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to Ed. I was like, I think the game I'm most excited to play is Breath of the Wild again, because I want to see it with, ray tracing and HDR and 60 frames a second, and my Switch not sounding like it's going to blow up after 20 minutes of playing it. And so, plus, I've been wanting to replay that game for a while, and this seems like a better time than ever. So.
Well, I've got 4 games then. I'll probably take Corey up on the Yakuza 0 director's cut. Stephanie, I'm definitely like more than likely for me to test out what the system can do. Definitely Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. I just need to see like I need to be able to play around with this version of DLSS, all this stuff going on. Like I need to see like load times, how that stuff goes, and then I'll probably just get like. It'd be nice if they made a Breath of the Wild Tears of the King bundle, but
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to do that.
Oh, LeRon, your wishful thinking.
If they did it, it would be what like $160, I guess. Because nobody will get a discount for buying the bundle.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't math right now. I can't math anyway. Ask me to do it on 4 hours of sleep and 12 hours of work.
It'd be nice if you bought both games. It'd be like $120, but we can only dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I people are mad that they're not including the DLC with Breath of the Wild. So,
that's not it.
They can get over it.
Yeah, I know. Ooh. That's what I said.
Wait. Was the Breath of the Wild DLC even worth it? Is the question.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
you get the motorcycle in a whole new dungeon, and
but that's what like an extra $40 though. That was an extra $40. I'm not mistaken,
it was
right?
$19.99.
Oh, it was only $20. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it though. It was good. It wasn't amazing, but you can probably play the game without it and be fine. But
okay, so. I'm just gonna randomly pick a topic here, and we're gonna go ahead and start this off talking about Summer Games Fest 2025.
Woo!
Yeah. What do you mean? Boo?
Yes. So Summer Game Fest begins this weekend, along with a recently announced State of Play, which is premiering June the 4th, tomorrow, as of this recording. But by the time you're seeing this in the future, it will already pass. So hope you catch it. Summer Game Fest will include an Xbox showcase, a wholesome games, Day of the Devs, and more. Stephanie, I'm going to turn this over to you because this is your topic.
Yay, thank you. I'm very excited for this. So like you mentioned, LeRon, there's a bunch of different showcases all peppered around this time. It's basically the not E3. So again, we have Sony State of Play, Day of Devs. We have a Devolver Direct, IOI, Wholesome, Women-Led Games, Latin American Games, Southeast Asian Game Showcase, Xbox Game Showcase, and so on and so forth. So a couple things to kind of touch upon here. I believe they already had, what was it called, the Unreal Showcase, where they showed off The Witcher 4, which I haven't had a chance to check out yet, but I'm really looking forward to watching footage of The Witcher 4.
It looks really good, but it's clearly running at 30 frames a second. Sorry, LeRon.
It's all right. You know the pre stuff is. You know how that goes.
Yeah. So I have a couple talking points, then we'll wrap up with a couple over and unders for predictions. Just a couple. I don't want to take too long. Is anyone looking forward to any particular showcase the most out of all of this?
The Death Stranding premiere.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Xbox showcase just because I feel like it's about time we see something new from them. I mean, like I know we've seen a lot from them that's not out yet, but like it's been like a year and a half since they showed something brand new. I know the rumors the Halo 1 remake, but I don't really want to see that. I've played so much Halo 1, I don't need to replay it. So I don't know what it would be though at this point, right? Like Double Fine's new game's supposed to be there. Supposedly I don't know, maybe we'll see more State of Decay or Everwild or something, right? Like games we haven't seen in a long time. Perfect Dark,
yes,
Fable. Like Fable is rumored to be like the big showing there. Aside from the Outer Worlds too, because they're doing that whole direct afterwards, which I don't really care about that either. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Xbox has to show. They're also supposed to show new hardware, which I don't know what that means particularly.
Yeah, like who's new hardware? Like
This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox.
Yes. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be an Elite Series 3 controller, which is what people want really bad, because apparently the Elite Series 2 controller is really bad. But they're going to supposedly add like haptic feed, essentially like a DualSense Edge controller, but shoved in an Xbox shell. I think is what they're going to try to do. So I'm actually really interested to see if Xbox announces anything for other platforms at their show, right? Because like that's clearly their whole strategy now, even though they still refuse to say it. So it would just be interesting for them to say PlayStation or Nintendo in their press conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I gotta say, I too am most looking forward to see what Xbox has to show, because even though I'm more of a Nintendo and Sony person, I know Sony does have, albeit timed exclusives on the horizon, like Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei. So at least like I kind of am a little Metal Gear Solid, of course, satiated, so to speak. I'm just like dying for like new Xbox stuff, and Fable and Perfect Dark is a great start. So I'm really looking forward to that. And no surprise, I'm very excited for the indie ones, specifically Day of the Devs and Wholesome. I am a sucker for indie games, and especially Day of the Devs. They curate a lot of great indie titles, so I usually find a lot that I end up playing from either of those directs.
Yeah, I got to tell you though, right now is like the best time to be a Game Pass member. If you play a lot of games, you know, I mean, they've had 7 first-party titles this year already. So it's and then you go all the way back to last year, right? I mean, starting essentially with Indiana Jones and whatever that October game was. I forget what it was. But you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're doing. I think Obsidian has another project in the works too, which would be really interesting, because they have 4 teams over there. I wonder what, you know, they have 2 smaller teams and then 2 larger teams. Obviously, one was working on Avowed and one was working on the Outer Worlds. So, like, are they going to have another Grounded size project or another Pentiment size project? That would be really interesting to see what a small team over there can do. So.
How about you, LeRon, Nellie? Is there anything in this lineup that you're particularly eyeing?
Yes, I want to see Day of the Devs, because I've been wanting to get more into indie games. I feel like as a gamer, I never really gave them a chance, but it's like now that I went to PAX East and talked to some of them and, you know, seen them and experienced it, I was like, I want to get more into indie games. So
yeah.
Yes.
Of course, the State of Play for me, because you know I'm a PlayStation guy. You know,
Yeah.
Day of the Dead's for sure. I'm also curious in the Latin American Games showcase, as well as the Black Voices in Gaming. I think the Black Voices in Gaming, though, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that just like a talking panel and not so much like, you know, like premieres and, you know, like spotlights on games?
I'd have to.
I feel like the last time I checked it out, that's what it was. Just very similar to the women-led games showcase.
Let's see. This is a nonprofit.
I don't know.
It puts,
to be honest,
spotlight on.
I haven't even really been paying attention to Keely's birthday party guest list. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'll be honest with you. If Stephanie hadn't said anything about it, I wouldn't even realize it was happening.
It is a nonprofit organization putting a spotlight on titles created by Black game developers.
Okay.
They said you can expect world premieres, dope interviews, and bold voices, pushing the culture forward. Their
Dope.
words, not mine. Their words, not mine.
Dope.
I don't want to sound like a poser.
Dope. We should bring that back.
Speaking of bringing something back, something that's being brought back into the gaming sphere is IOI, who finally dropped the name, I think, of their 007 game, First Light, and they will be showcasing it. What do you think it'll take for a game like this to be successful? Like as big of a franchise it is, at least in the cinemaverse.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think people are just expecting 007 Hitman, to be honest with you. I think the Hitman style work, like not necessarily Hitman, but just like the way you can kind of do things with gadgets and kind of create your own fun within that world, right? I think that would be interesting. I'm a little confused by the name though, because they said this is his training to become 007. I'm like, we had that. It's called Casino Royale. Came out 15 years ago. So I'm a little confused by that, but I mean, as long as it's fun, I guess. I don't know. I guess I just want to wait and see. It's clearly not going to be a shooter, though, in my opinion. I think they're leaning way more into the spy gadget aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it'll be compared a lot to Hitman, but we'll see. We'll find out. But
I'm pretty sure they're looking for the similarities. I'm pretty sure.
What I'm really interested to see is if they model this character and announce the new Bond at the same time. That would be like, because during the GameCube era, they modeled Bond after Pierce Brosnan, because that was the Bond at the time, and then Activision modeled all their Bonds after Daniel Craig. So I wonder if they're going to try to do something like that, or if this is like, just their own version of Bond.
Interesting. Good point.
I mean, my guess is this is just their version of Bond, but I think it would be cool if they had the new Bond come out and announce the game while they announce the new Bond. That'd be awesome.
That would be sweet.
That would be epic.
Yeah.
What might not be as epic is Nintendo is actually cited as a partner in Summer Games Fest. I was a little surprised. This is a first, I think, like active quote-unquote participation listed in many years. I personally think it's probably just going to be not ads, but like a commercial for like their Switch 2 and maybe like a little bit of an existing announcement. But I wanted to see what everyone's thoughts are with Nintendo as a technical participant this year.
I mean, my thought honestly is that they're just, whatever they're showing at Keely's thing is probably some sort of partner obligation, like third-party partner obligation, and anything Nintendo related will be something that's already announced, because they want to hold all their stuff close to the chest.
Yes.
I think they just want the Switch 2 in front of as many eyes as possible at this point. So they're going to be there with the Switch 2. I don't know if it's necessarily anything new unless it's third party. Or like a second party agreement with, like, I don't know, Platinum or whoever decides to make Astral Chain 2. Maybe that's their whatever. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but that'd be dope, as they say.
Dope.
Dope.
Yeah. LeRon, Nellie, any thoughts about Nintendo's involvement?
It would be interesting. It would be interesting to see for me. Like, I don't really know what to expect. Because I'm pretty sure, like, isn't there like a treehouse like coming anyway?
So I saw a tweet, X, whatever you want to call it, citing Nate the Hate, and he is unaware of any upcoming direct or related thing, but who knows what will come in time.
Yeah.
Usually there's something around now, though. But maybe Nintendo's just waiting for all this to be over, and then surprise!
Yeah. They usually try to go last.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think they usually try to go last, right? Because like all this stuff happens and then Nintendo's last, and then that's all anybody can talk about, right? That's why I'm so confused that Sony's going first.
Right?
Right? Because all their stuff's going to be forgotten about in 10 minutes. And I mean, that's just an opinion, but still.
I don't have
And
an
like,
answer for. I don't have an answer for why they're doing it first. I don't.
I mean, the big thing was supposed to be Marathon at this state of play. I know that for a fact. It was supposed to be Marathon, but obviously, no.
You're right.
So I mean, they probably show Ghost of Yote and Death Stranding a little bit before the Death Stranding major reveal, right? Because I don't think they're going to have a state of play when they're kind of funding and co-publishing the game, right? And not show it at least a little bit. Maybe they'll show Fair Games. The game's already improved. They replaced the $ at the end with a regular S. Already improved.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm interested. By the way, did you know the last game Jade Raymond was credited on was Far Cry 4? Far Cry 4. You know how long ago that was? Because then she left Ubisoft to go to Google, and then Stadia closed down, and then now she... oh my gosh, I don't even know what's going on with her now.
All right. Well, to round this out, I just cherry picked. Oh, I already talked about one of them. A couple of like random announcement guesses, and I want you to provide me an over/under on whether you think it's going to make an appearance. So the first one is Wolverine. Will Wolverine be showcased at the? I guess it would be tomorrow at the State of Play. Will we see him?
No.
No, not at the State of Play. If they're going to show it, it's going to be a Keeley's thing, I think, because Disney and Marvel want that game in front of a lot of people. And I feel like...
Okay. Well, if then, yeah. So what's the over and under?
I would say... I actually think the chances are likely. That game's been in development forever.
Right.
I'm gonna say over.
Okay. I'm going to say slightly over. I'm giving it a 60-40 chance it'll appear in Summer Game Fest. Nellie?
Probably over.
Okay. Next. Silksong, which technically made an appearance at the last Nintendo Switch Nintendo Direct, but like actual hey, this is dropping, I'm just making this up, July 31st, blah blah blah. Over and under on Silksong.
Here's a hot take. So it's coming to Game Pass day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to shadow drop onto Game Pass during the Xbox event.
I could see it happening. I don't know.
Xbox likes to shadow drop at least one game every year, and they've been awfully quiet.
Isn't that that's Hollow Knight, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Hollow Knight is pretty hot though. So go ahead, LeRon. I'm sorry.
I feel like it's gonna make an appearance. It's got to, because I mean, it's a hype train for gamers at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna be honest, I never played it, so
no, you don't need to. It's fine.
Yeah, I've never played it either.
I'm just kidding. I like to be a jerk about Hollow Knight. I'm sorry, everybody out there that likes Hollow Knight.
My bad. Over and under. It's just like, what are your odds about thinking if something is more likely to happen or not? Just percentages. Like, I think it's a 60% chance Wolverine will be announced during Summer Game Fest or explained or whatever. Sorry.
I'd say there's an 80% chance for Silksong then.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my theory about Wolverine. I think they want to get the Wolverine game out because Wolverine is popular again, right? With X-Men 99 and obviously Deadpool or 97 and Deadpool and Wolverine, and apparently he's coming back for Doomsday. But I think they want to get that game out so they can start work on the X-Men game that they're working on and have that out in time for whatever the next movie is. Because apparently after these new Avengers movies, Kevin Feige has a 10-year plan for the X-Men. So,
jeez, oh wow.
I swear.
Well, given you say that, I'm starting to feel a bit more likely about it, or at least something, right? It's been many years since we got that itty bitty tiny little teaser, so
yeah, the mouse likes his synergy.
Yes. And then last but not least, I'm thinking about Capcom a lot, and I know it's the year of Monster Hunter, but do you think we will see either Resident Evil 9 or a remake of a older game?
Both.
I don't know if I'd see both.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah.
Really?
Here's how it's going to happen. They're going to show the remake. They're going to show a trailer for the remake. I think it's going to be.
Don't you say it.
For people,
Code Veronica.
No.
No, here's the thing. I think a lot of fans want it to be Code Veronica.
I do.
I think it's going to be Zero because
that's been the rumor. I don't.
That's been the rumor for like a year and a half.
If they fix a lot of the gameplay mechanics for Zero that made it just they're
going to make it like 2 and 3. I think is the plan. But at the end, they're going to put a stinger for 9.
Oh, okay.
Nellie, as the Resident Evil like fanatic here, like what do you think the odds are for a Zero remake?
That's one of the most hated Resident Evil games because a lot of people say it was broken. I wouldn't mind seeing a remake of it.
Honestly, because I liked Zero back in the day because Zero definitely monopolized off of RE remake. It monopolized off of the engine. It did some things new and different for it and stuff like that. And yeah, there is a good affinity for it, but ultimately, I feel like the game suffered. The only reason the game suffered because of gameplay and not storyline. Because I think it had a really good story.
I thought you were going to say it sucked because of Billy.
No, actually, I feel like Billy was a very interesting character. I really do. It's funny because I just rewatched I finally finished the Resident Evil the what was it, the 4-part series that was on Netflix. I just finished that actually, and then I was like, you know what, I'm feeling pretty nostalgic, so I watched Resident Evil Death Island, and I was sitting there thinking, I was like, man, Death Island basically had all the top tier players in that movie, and then I got to wonder, I'm like Rebecca is in this is the third movie Rebecca Chambers has been in. Where the hell is Billy?
But I don't even want to get started on Resident Evil because this is going to be a long topic. A lot of people are quite upset that Jill hasn't been in the games for a while. So that's why I'm like, I kind of hope that she does appear in Resident Evil 9, but who knows?
Oh, you mean actually, in a starring role?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't the rumor, which really is not based on any fact, obviously, the returning characters for 9 would be Leon and Jill for some weird messed up reason? But again, that
was a rumor. That was a speculation from the gamers out there. Which I think honestly it's because they because if you watch Resident Evil Death Island, the movie, they played well off of each other because they were the team up in that movie.
And remember how we saw a placeholder in Play Asia for Resident Evil 9, and everyone's like, "Oh, that looks like Leon," or "Oh, this looks like Jill." So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the only way we'll know is when it gets announced.
I'll be honest with you. As much as I love Nick Apostolides, and that's my boy and everything, I'm tired of Leon.
I will never get tired of Leon. How dare you? How dare you?
I'm team Chris Redfield.
Gross. Get out of here. All right.
Well,
You never know what he's going to look like.
Cuz I got a question.
I'm not hating on Leon. I feel like Leon just got it, but I also feel like it's because of Japanese gaming. Like they like younger protagonists and stuff like that, which is why Leon definitely works, even though I feel like now he's a little long in the tooth, but whatever.
Yeah, he's like 25 now. He's way too old.
I
Got
thought
a high school kid in there.
I really thought when they introduced Piers, like Piers was going to be the next it guy for Resident Evil, but then we saw how that turned out.
They did him so wrong. I don't even want to talk about that.
I know, right? But yeah, like he was a really cool character. It was a really cool support character. It almost feels like they were trying to like make up for how they did Sheva.
Another great character who needs to come back, but
where's that game?
What
if we get what if we get a Charlie's Angels version of Resident Evil?
Just about to say the same thing.
Whereas like Jill, Claire, Sheva, Rebecca, and Ada.
Yep, I was about to say the same thing. We're on,
yeah.
like literally word for word.
Yes,
our thoughts are one.
Oh, that would be.
See, Nellie's like, yeah, I'm digging this. Because of course Ada would be like the jerk of the entire team. Ada, and of course, like Ada and Jill would have problems with each other.
Oh no, because then we get the fanboys like asking for like $8,000 worth of costumes for each character, and then it's a mess.
Come up with mods.
They would just call the game Resident Gooner. That's how it would be. And the PC version would have like a million mods that are all not safe for work.
Oh, you mean like the Stellar Blade ones? Did you see that story?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Not the mods themselves, but the Stellar Blade account retweeted some not safe for work images and then deleted them.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah.
Oh, who would Bosley be? This is a question from the audience. Who would Bosley be? Okay, if we had to throw a male character in there, I would nominate Barry Burton.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I think that's
another character that doesn't get enough love. Who?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he runs a deli, and their secret base is inside the deli, and he makes
or I forget his name. Who's Wesker Jr.? What was his name? Like Jake something?
Jake
Wesker
Muller.
Jr.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's who called him that. Who called him that in the game? Like they called him your Wesker Jr. Who called him that?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Corey, you're failing me. Like Resident Evil 6 was your game. Like you're failing me.
That's not true. I said I played through it once. Say it was my game. I said I liked it.
Okay, we ran this segment way too long.
I don't remember.
I was right. It's gonna be a long segment.
Dude, that was hundreds of games ago. I don't have no idea what's happening there.
Sorry, my bad for bringing up Resident Evil, but thank you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Fun topic.
I do think Resident Evil will be there in some capacity, though.
I think so too.
It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute.
All right. What's next?
All right. So Corey wanted to talk about Hunter Schafer as in the Zelda movie. So Corey, why don't you take it away?
Yeah. Let me get the doc here. All right. Let me pull it over here. Okay. So it's funny because like I read this. If you read this Forbes article, it doesn't even mention at all what's going on here, right? But so, and I had no idea who this person was, and Ed actually informed me on everything that's going on. So essentially, there's a lot of rumor and speculation going on right now that Hunter Schafer, actress, is going to play Princess Zelda, is like the front runner to play Princess Zelda, right? she is in Euphoria. She's in the Hunger Games prequel. She's also got like a couple other things in the works, I guess, going on. But it's making headlines. I mean, obviously it's making headlines because it's a Zelda movie. But she is also a transgender woman. And that is getting the other side of the internet really angry. And like, I do want to touch on that part of it, but I just want to know, really, I just want to talk about like, would she make a good fit for Princess Zelda?
All right, so let me preamble this right now. Trans women are women, so
I'm aware.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to that vocal part of the audience that's going to say otherwise and stuff like that. And by the way, you already know my social, so at me at X's803 if you want to have a conversation about this. And by the way, nobody has had a conversation with me about this stuff, so apparently it's not that bad of a take. If you guys are supposedly disagreeing with me and stuff like that, like it's never happening. I have yet to have, huh?
They're afraid of you.
They must be. But that's what I'm going to say about that. So we can get to the actual topic of like the casting of this person.
Yeah, I think there's like 800 other things you should worry about this movie besides who's playing Zelda right now.
Right.
Who's playing Link? That's my question.
Well, here's the thing, which this is part of my thing I want to go into in a minute, but I don't know if you guys know who she is or if you think she would make a good fit as Princess Zelda. She looks like if she was Zelda, they would be aiming more towards like a somewhere between Ocarina and Twilight Princess aesthetic, right? She definitely has like the face shape of the Twilight Princess version of Zelda. She's tall. She has, like she has this look of like elegance and has, I can just imagine her in the Twilight Princess gown and that long sword that she carries. And like, I can totally see that with her. My original pick was Florence Pugh to play Zelda, but that would be a different, if I was thinking something like Breath of the Wild or Wind Waker style Zelda or something. But I don't know. The more because like I had no idea who she was. So once after we talked about it, I like listened to a couple interviews. I watched her on Jimmy Fallon. They showed some clips of her in the Hunger Games, and I think she would actually make a really great Princess Zelda. Like the way she kind of carries herself and delivers lines in the Hunger Games, like I was like, yeah, I feel like that could work. So I don't know. And I know the transgender thing is going to throw a lot of people, and like the other thing too, right, is Sony and Nintendo are two very Japanese centric cultures that really look down on that too, right? Historically. And so I think if they did cast her, that this would make some sort of international cultural statement and generally. So I don't know what you guys would think about all that. LeRon, I'm going to ask you. You usually have a lot of things to say about this topic.
Okay, so first off, I don't really know a lot about Hunter Schafer. As far as and I've been meaning to start Euphoria for like forever, like maybe I will start it before season 3 actually happens, whatnot. But so I don't really know a lot about Hunter Schafer, but I just basically went through the IMDb and the Wikipedia reel for her. And yeah, the more I look at some of the comparisons, stuff like that, she does have like a look that could fit the aesthetic for Princess Zelda.
You know what it reminds me of actually is Cate Blanchett in Lord of the Rings a little bit. Like I could see a Zelda-esque figure kind of looking like that with her in that role.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm still kind of trying to I'm still trying to bring myself on board with the fact that there's a Legend of Zelda movie coming, because like I don't, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I feel like there's a part of me that wants to take this seriously, but at the same time, like The Legend of Zelda is such a revered franchise. It's a completely different macrocosm from
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario and Metroid. You know,
Yeah.
and I think because one of the main things is like it doesn't have like a real like going back, if like you pay attention to the pre-show topic, I was talking about how long I've been playing video games, stuff like that. And there was a time when we thought that the Legend of Zelda games, like from Legend of Zelda to Zelda 2 to Link to the Past and stuff like that, we thought these games were in some type of chronological order. Then everything gets turned on its head by the time we get to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask to find out that like there's no like set continuity. Some of these are taking place in completely different like iterations or dimensions of the Hyrule universe and stuff like that and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like this is a ticking. I feel like this could be like a landmine waiting to be stepped on, because like it definitely will open the door to like for like continuity freaks to find something to latch on. And when I say continuity freaks, I'm talking about moviegoers here.
Mm-hmm.
Like moviegoers and people who watch serialized television, we are all about canon and stuff like that. And like we're possibly putting like one of the most disruptive elements in there. Not saying it's disruptive in a bad way, but just one of the most disruptive elements in there, because people are going to want to be able to they're going to use this movie as the origin point, and then let's say a sequel comes out and like it's taking place in a different like iteration or interpretation or fantasy of Hyrule and stuff like that. People are just going.
Sony wants it to be a trilogy, so.
Okay, well, if it's a trilogy, then maybe there will be a set canon as far as that goes and stuff like that. But for the most part, like I feel like with the way like Zelda is looked at, the Legend of Zelda, the franchise is looked at as a whole by the gaming community. I feel like this is going to be a gift and a curse. So like that's kind of why I'm not 100% on board with like the Legend of Zelda movie. Not saying if it comes out I won't watch it, because like I sure as hell ran for the Mario Brothers movie. I ran for that one. Yeah, but as far as like Hunter Schafer's casting though, like I don't see a problem with it. Like I feel like it's one of the better castings in my opinion, as far as like movie castings go. Especially in this day and age, because like sometimes we'll see people cast for characters and they're like, what were you thinking and stuff like that. But I don't see any real problem about this. And if there's going to be like some socio-political like element here for this casting and stuff like that, I'm always going to do what I tell people to do: get over it, first of all. Because like Hollywood's going to spend the money on what it wants to spend the money on, who it wants to spend the money on, and how it wants to spend the money on it and stuff like that. So we got to take it or leave it, like and the best way to say like whether or not like like take it, we're gonna take it or we're gonna leave it, is if we actually show up in the movie theater to watch the movie and stuff like that. And of course, like some people are going to be definitely misinformed or misunderstood about like what's going on. Like not every movie casting is a political statement. And, like if you're gonna use this person's like like affirmed gender as a political statement, you probably already missed the boat on what's going on as far as like the movie, because Hollywood ultimately is about making money. And like I feel like casting Hunter Schafer in this role versus like a Scarlett Johansson or a Florence Pugh. Not saying anything bad about either one of those actresses. I feel like this is a better bet, because like it doesn't feel like it's a shilly type of move. Like it's real easy to just cast like the it girl, like like it could have been really easy just to cast like let me see somebody who would also fit like a Princess Zelda look that I can think of. Actually, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I'm being
Chris
honest
Pratt.
with you.
Yeah, he'll be Link or the King or something. So that
oh
no,
my!
I'm gonna ask.
Midna is on one tonight.
Yeah,
Midna wants to be in the Zelda movie. Stephanie, what do you think about it? You're the Queen Zelda fan here.
I am. I mean, all right. So as far as the choice of actress, I don't know her as an actress very well, other than my quick brief research. And my bottom line is, as long as she's good at what she does, which it sounds like it, and she has the
She can
look.
act.
Yeah, so then I have no issues with the whole transgender thing. That's a bit more delicate that I always tend to be afraid to comment on because I risk pissing off both sides. But it, I can see
Piss them off.
how.
Piss them off. Join my side.
No,
Piss them
because
off.
I tend to be like when I say sit in the middle, you'll hear what I'm saying in a minute. I can see some people correlating it a little bit to transgender women in sports, for example, like kind of drawing parallel lines to it. But for me, I see him as a bit different because with sports, you're looking at actual like physique when in that competition, relying on physique, and that could lead to very complicated discussions. Whereas for cinema, I think it's actually easier because we're looking at talent, and talent is not defined by gender, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like your physical build, like what's your muscle mass? Like none of that actually really matters for cinema. It is your skill in portraying a fictional character. So for me, I don't see too much of a political socio-political issue for me. I just know that unfortunately it will generate that conversation. I can only hope that it is a loud minority, and I do think it's going to be that. Um, based on the people in charge, I feel that if they were to go with Hunter Schafer, I don't think it's going to be a patronizing, we're doing this because we want to be progressive and look at who we chose. I think that whoever they pick as Zelda, which includes the possibility of Hunter Schafer, it's going to be who they truly think will best assume the role of the princess.
Yeah.
So I hope that kind of made sense.
Yeah.
You mean kind of like how Disney cast Halle Bailey as Ariel? Because they said they picked the person who was the best fit and who had the best of everything they need. They need someone that could sing, they need someone that could act, and they need someone that can actually convey the sense.
If Disney was genuinely meant that, then yes. As long as that they genuinely meant that. Yeah.
I feel like for that one they genuinely meant it. I think for everything else following that, I think they were full of shit. Because like look at Snow White.
Yeah. So yeah, it depends situation. So
to be fair, neither of those movies are good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I
haven't seen Snow White. Have you seen Snow White, Corey?
It was so bad we turned it off.
Of course you watched that one.
I have two small children, LeRon. Do you know how into princesses a 6-year-old girl is?
Yeah, but it took you half of your life to watch Ghostbusters.
I had no interest in Ghostbusters.
From 1984.
Yeah. Anyways, back to I think there's a lot of weight to this character, right? I mean, Zelda is one of the most iconic video game characters of all time, right? I mean, she's going to be the face of this franchise for at least a decade or longer, right? I mean, maybe even longer if it's a hit. Like you look at Lord of the Rings. I know I keep going back to that, but that's the only thing I can really comprehend kind of comparing this to. Like those I mean, what's his face? Oh my gosh, Elijah Wood is still the face of is still Frodo, and he hasn't played Frodo in 20 years. Like that's just
and also the kid who played, not a kid anymore, but the kid who played as Harry Potter. He was been trying to break out of that.
He broke out of it.
Yes, but it took a while.
Yeah, so. They cast the new Harry Potter kids, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that either.
You know what? I have a complimentary question for your topic, Corey, because I forgot to ask. What do you guys think the odds are there'll be some sort of Zelda movie information announced either at Summer Game Fest or at a Nintendo presentation around Summer Game Fest time, like a cast or I don't know. Probably the next step would be casting announcements.
I think it's too early.
Yeah, it's too early.
It was about 2 years before the Mario movie came out when they announced casting, and this is supposed to come out the summer of 2027.
I think they're going to play I think they're going to play a little bit closer this time than they did the Mario movie.
Yeah, It's especially because it's live action and it's less controlled, right? The sets are less
Yeah.
controlled, and you can't really keep a lot of secrets. But
Yeah.
So this brings me to my next point, and we can kind of be quick on this. And I don't know, Nellie, do you have anything to say on this before we move on to my next kind of?
I feel some type of way about video game movies, so that's why I'm a little quiet right now.
She's still thinking.
I love it. Good answer.
She's still thinking of Leon.
No.
No, Leon's not Nellie's boy in Resident Evil. It's the new and improved Chris Redfield from the Village.
Yeah.
What was that nickname you had? Chris Thickums?
Yeah.
Yikes. So I have a pitch for the Zelda movie that I think they should focus on. And hear me out. Link should not be in the first movie. I think this has to be a focus on Zelda and the rise of Ganondorf from the boy who was born in the Gerudo Valley to the king of the thieves, and then his rise to power to take over Hyrule. And I think it's got to be some sort of political thing that ends in like this. I imagine it would end in some sort of like Hyrule Warrior style battle, to be honest. But I think
I did like that.
This is going to be
I think it's got to be a political kind of almost Game of Thrones-esque with less violence. Or less visible violence, I guess.
If this is going to be a trilogy, I can see that working, but I feel like they're going to want to make it. They're going to want to make it like as much as Legend of Zelda as they can be, like make it like a hallmark, So like you gotta have Link, you gotta have Zelda, you gotta have Ganon, you gotta have the Triforce of Wisdom, Power, and Courage.
Well, maybe they're looking for the Triforce of Courage, right? That's Link's. Maybe this is the thing, is they're looking for the Triforce of Courage, and they both find it, and that's how the trilogy concludes, is they find it, but it's Link, and he's there. Right at the end. Like, I think Link should only be in this movie or this trilogy for like 5 minutes, or like the final battle or whatever.
But he's the hero of the story.
I know. And like, I know they're going to do the iconic Master Sword pull, and they're going to do the whole Link talks to the Deku Tree.
We got to get our fan service.
But I think like you could do all that, like do the fan servicey stuff, like the Deku Tree and the big Goron and stuff, with Zelda as the main character at some point. I know the Master Sword is going to be the Link iconic pull, right? But I don't know. I feel like you could do some of these little things.
No, they're going to give us some. They're going to give some fan service. Like Zelda has to like take on the Sheik persona somewhere in the movie.
I was just thinking that.
I mean, maybe that's how maybe they're on a mission to infiltrate the Gerudo Valley, and she turns into Sheik and goes out with the whatever,
Sheik was so badass. I love Sheik.
I don't know. What do you guys think this movie should, or this trilogy should be about?
No, I'm not taking a stab at that.
Why not?
No.
What if a portal opens and these Rathalos comes out?
Because I want it to be like Link. I want it to be like Link to the Past, or Four Swords Adventures, or the Minish Cap, or Link's Awakening. You kind of see where I'm going with this, right?
I would have loved like a Wind Waker style animated movie. That would have been.
I was thinking like they could be really safe, after this gets off the ground, and make a Wind Waker movie, an animated movie. Because I was thinking more of Tetra, right? That version of Princess Zelda.
Yeah.
I wish they would have did it like how they did the Mario movie and animated it, but that's just me.
It's almost like they're trying to swing for the fences with this one, which is not saying it's a bad thing,
Also, not really Sony's strong suit in the last couple decades.
Animated?
Not just movies in general. Aside from like maybe Spider-Verse, which was animated, right? Like, I don't know. Have you seen the Spider-Man villain movies? That's the producer of this movie, so. I don't know.
I have no
feel like
guesses to the plot, but I will only say this because I should have went with my gut when they teased Tears of the Kingdom. When they first teased Tears of the Kingdom, I listened to the music and I'm like, man, that sounds really familiar. And then once I played the game, it dawned on me that it was very similar, if not the same as their Dragons theme, or at least the instrument usage. And I'm like, oh, that, if I had picked up on that, they were kind of hinting at there's a dragon in the game. And so Nintendo's very deliberate with that stuff. So when Nintendo dropped the Legend of Zelda movie date in the Nintendo Today app, they used the chiptune OG music. So I'm thinking that whatever plot they end up choosing, it's going to hark back to kind of like the original Zelda sense of adventure, traditional type story. I feel like they're going to really try and stick to like an old school Zelda theme and not necessarily like, oh, it's going to be a cookie cutter of Twilight Princess, for example.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I want this movie to be at least watchable. I don't need it to be amazing. I just need it to be watchable, right? Like that for it to be successful.
Now you know what us Monster Hunter fans were at when.
Oh, come on! You knew what you're getting into with Mila Jovovich and that director, right? You knew it was going to be Resident Evil with dragons.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. The Monster Hunter movie was not bad. The Monster Hunter movie was not bad at all. And I'm saying this as a lifelong Monster Hunter player. The Monster Hunter movie was not bad.
I feel that so long as Nintendo is involved with the making of their movies, which they will, it'll at least be tolerable. I can't see Nintendo accepting a complete stinker. It might not be the best, but I just feel like they'll hold some standard.
Yeah.
Well, I respect that because Capcom also had a lot of like pull and direction with Monster Hunter, and I don't know, like I kind of believe a lot of stuff Mila Jovovich says. She says she actually plays Monster Hunter, stuff like that. So she wanted to be as plugged into it and stuff like that. To the point where she even got her husband Paul W.S. Anderson, who's the director of the movie, to also start playing the game and stuff like that. And that's when he got the draw to actually want to do something in the project. So yeah, like I feel like a lot of times the companies do have like some input in what like to your stuff. It's like also I do know Nintendo can be pretty anal about this stuff. So there's that.
Yeah, especially with something. I mean, especially with Mario and Zelda, right? Those are like the two things they hold on the pedestal the highest.
I tell you what, though, like when I think about the Mario Brothers movie, though, I swear, like the whole like Donkey Kong thing was that whole scene was just epic.
I need a Donkey Kong movie.
It's coming.
It's coming.
I did like that little anime series back in the day. That little Donkey Kong animated series. I don't.
Oh no.
What?
Anyways, I don't really have anything else to say. Like I have an idea of what I want the plot to be, but I'm not smart enough to kind of pitch it in a 5-minute window. I hope they get it right. I hope they take the time to, really, kind of, I hope Nintendo has their hands on this and makes it watchable. Who's gonna, as Stephanie put it, and when we were texting the other day, Stephanie, who's gonna play Daddy Dorf?
Yes,
Oscar Isaac. Or do we want somebody a little more buff or butch?
I have a take.
Who?
Idris Elba.
Please.
You know what? I'm here for it. But of course, the same people that were all like butthurt about the possibility of him being cast as James Bond will be just as vocal.
Dude, he would be such an awesome James Bond.
He would, yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people who's like, somebody's gonna yell at me on the internet for this, but I'm kind of opposed to a female James Bond because it's, the whole character's male persona is like what draws people in, but like, oh my gosh, Idris Elba would be awesome.
It's asinine for there to be a female James Bond. There can be a female 007.
There is one. It's the black girl in the last movie.
Moneypenny.
No, not Moneypenny. The other one.
Wait. Am I missing one?
Yeah, it's the.
I am missing one. I did not watch the final Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it for you if you were looking forward to it. But the
spoilers.
James Bond retires and ends up doing.
I know that.
And like the new 007 is a black woman, and people were freaking out.
Oh, I know he retires. I know.
I'm like, it's not even James Bond. He retired. You need to replace the number. Who cares? Shut up. I'm a big fan of Moneypenny in those movies, though. By the way,
me too.
Big fan. I don't think we're fan.
Who's the actress that played her? Was it Naomi Harris?
Naomi Harris,
right? Yeah.
Big fan.
Oh yeah. I love her. I just love her as an actress. Wait, what were we talking about?
Idris Elba is Ganon. Who's going to play Ganon?
Ganon. I like it. Sorry. I like it, but I stand with my Oscar Isaac thing. Even though like he's basically like Baron Frankenstein in his upcoming Frankenstein movie.
Yeah. Here's the thing: as long as they don't make him look like Apocalypse in X-Men, it will be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Nellie, you got to pick.
By the way, gamers, you also stop lusting after video game characters. It's sickening.
What?
Especially the 15-year-old girl, the 1,000-year-old witches that look like 15.
As I go find my Capcom's Resident Evil like swimsuit issue from back in the day.
Hold on. Those are fighting words.
You upset Nelly. LeRon, get us.
No. There are some absolutely like I'm. If it wasn't for the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 was not day one on PC, I'd be a day one because oh my god, those characters are hot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what's going on with those characters? It's like
first of all, they look too realistic.
Yeah, it makes me feel things. Let's move on.
Hey, there's a reason why it's called heteroflexible, Corey.
Listen,
I don't care about the dude in that game.
As many times.
No, you just said those characters. You just said those characters make me feel certain things. So there's
a lot of characters in that trailer.
Of course, there's a lot of characters in that trailer, but I'm pretty sure you weren't talking about the mob boss. It looks like he eats way too many roasted hoagie sandwiches. I'm sure you weren't talking about that guy.
What's wrong with a good hoagie sandwich, LeRon? You got something against hoagie
sandwich, but there's something wrong if you're eating 10 of them a day. Flip table.
We are.
See, you thought you were going to be the one that caused like the audience to flip out. I'm the one that's causing the audience to flip out right now.
All right, get me out of this topic. What's next, LeRon?
I have an original topic tonight. As we,
Boo.
Jeez. Okay, I'm going home. My bad.
You are home.
You know what I mean.
Taking my ball and going home.
Yeah. Okay, so I brought an original topic here tonight. So it's not something that's really picked off the headlines or anything like that, but all the digital sales are going to come back. As a matter of fact, we've already got teasers to Sony's Sony's online sales and all that stuff. So this topic is definitely like something we've kind of tread on before, but I want to take it in a different light here. And it's all about digital game ownership, and is it about convenience or, control overall? So essentially, what we got here is like, and I'm looking at this from a point of the sales and stuff like that, because I mean, let's be honest, man, like some of these sales are freaking amazing. You know what I mean? You can literally get like AAA games sometimes for below $5 and stuff like that. But the thing is though, our digital sales are getting to a point where it's actually ruining the physical market, or was the physical market already cooked to begin with?
I think especially since the pandemic, right? Like the rise of digital sales has increased It's to the point where it's a higher percentage of digital sales on consoles at least than physical, right? I know PC's been digital forever, but I think
I got kind of mad when I could no longer get original box art for my PC games. Like they're, like I was already part of the problem because like I remember buying Battlefield 2042. Is that the sci-fi RTS one?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, and I remember getting the box with just the cover and there was no disc at all and stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, I got the box now and stuff. And so yeah, I'm a part of the problem. You have me to thank for why you barely get a slip of paper in your games in your game box now.
Here's the reason why I started doing digital games, and I'm actually thinking about it for Switch 2, almost exclusively, except for like the certain franchises that I absolutely love, like Zelda, right? Whatever that next one is. But you look at especially the way that Microsoft is doing it. I'm not 100% sure how Sony does it, but third parties do it too. You essentially stick the disc in and you have to still download most of or all of the game. Mm-hmm. And then there's updates, and then there's the day one update, and then there's the patches, and then there's the extra content that comes later that's not considered DLC, and then you have it's just not, to me, it's not worth owning essentially a coaster in a box. I love physical games. Like I wish things were different, and I think this is where companies like Limited Run and Super Rare and IM 8-bit are going to actually grow as digital games become more and more prominent. These companies will stop making discs, but they'll make deals with these. They'll become boutique, right? Like essentially the way that cassette players, cassette tapes and vinyl are now, right? And I'm sure CDs will be in like 20 years, even though they'll be silicon decayed and whatever. But I mean, you even look at PS1 games are starting to degrade now. Like you can't even play them because the discs are so old and dried out, because back then discs were new and they didn't have any of the protective layers or the wax sealing on them or anything, right? Like they just made discs and you could play them. And there are literal PS1 games that don't work anymore because they weren't well taken. Of course, the ones that are well taken care of will work, but like if they're just sitting around, like they're not going to work because they're degrading and they're not being used. So that for me, that's why digital games are just like, this is fine, right? It's fine for me. Like I bought Expedition 33 physically, right? Because that game is supposedly all on the disc, and I really loved that game. So I wanted to support the developers and buy it, even though I played it on Game Pass. Hellblade is another one. But even limited. Go ahead.
Finish your thought.
I was just going to say, even Limited Run is dabbling in the game key cards for Switch 2, and I know that's for non-numbered versions of the games, but like that's like their whole model is physical media, and they're still doing the digital key card things for some things, right? Like I think that just tells you where this is at.
Well, here's just to play devil's advocate, because I'm a physical fan, but I mean, just to start here, I mean, from what I've read, I believe for the Switch 2, for example, game key card ones, you can still resell those, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my research. So I'm like, well, that takes one part of the whole digital gaming kind of drawbacks is, whether or not you could resell something that you own just digitally. But if you have a Switch 2 game that is a game key card, even though it's not quote unquote 100% physical by definition, you can still resell it. But again, I know that's just like one tiny part of this whole discussion. I cared a lot more about physical media when it actually came with more than what's now available, like manuals, and well, they still have box art, but that's why I'm drawn to physical games, box art, anything else they might come with. And I will have to say, I agree with Corey that on one hand, digital sales shot up in COVID and during COVID and will continue to be that way, but there will be a strong niche for physicals, especially for maybe lesser known titles and indies and stuff. So that's just my little take.
I think it's more convenient. That's why I like digital, but at the same time, I always worry like, eventually this might get pulled from the library. So that's like my biggest worry. But otherwise, I mean, depending on the game as well. If it's something that I really know that I'm gonna play constantly, I'd rather have a hard copy of it rather than going with the digital. Again, copyright. So just to be on the safe side, I guess I do both.
Yeah. Yeah, I just especially for like Switch 2, like I realized partway through the Switch's life cycle that it's just annoying to open the cartridge slot and get a game out and put it in, right? So like, I just I would love to be the person that has this huge game collection and have it displayed behind me at all times, right? Like Stephanie does back there. But it's just not, that part is not realistic, and like it's just like these games just aren't, especially on Xbox and PlayStation, it's just not worth having this dead plastic on my shelf.
I'm a poser. Like I will buy the freaking like the cases and print myself the sleeve art and call it a day. Like, I got these games.
People sell their boxes their boxes on eBay for like $15 to $20 a piece.
I don't need the OEM box. I don't need it.
A good color printer.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at even collector's editions don't have the games in them sometimes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, Expedition 33 is re-releasing their collector's edition with no disc, with no game, not even a code. It's just the steelbook and the monolith, which I want really bad, by the way, now that I've finished the game and understand it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that so bad. But I just spent enough on the Nintendo Switch 2 that I can't. Oh my gosh, I would sell one of my children for that.
Consumerism, my man.
I won't tell you which one.
We all know it's the firstborn. We all know this.
Yeah. Well, my son likes games, so it can't be him. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop your lying.
It's fine.
I'm at this point, like I'm a digital. I'm more digital than I am like physical, which is weird because like I used to be one of those people like I absolutely have to have the game. I actually had to have everything that's associated with the game. So the box art, the instruction manual, like the disc, like all the little knickknacks and all that stuff. And it's definitely got to be the original, like freaking like box art. It can't be like how like PS1 wound up like later on getting reprints, no greatest hits, and they had that green like label or whatnot, and stuff like that. Like
gosh, the greatest hits labels were so bad, dude.
I know, right? I know, but that's how. But I mean, like every company's done it. Like Nintendo does it. Like Microsoft tried to do it.
Remember when the GameCube had that nasty yellow strip at the top?
Yeah.
Oh, so gross.
Yeah.
Oh. I gotta say, the Xbox 360 Platinum hits with the silver cases, those were some sexy greatest hits. It was amazing.
I think you're right.
Although the cover art never, they just can't make a decision on their cover art. By the way, for 3 generations, they're like, I don't know how to make the cover art. We don't have a template. Steve left, and he took the template with him. We got to figure it out. Anybody have a Canva account? We gotta whip something up. It's awful. Oh, man. I want to like Xbox so much more than I do. And I like Xbox, but God, figure it out.
Get it together.
Jeez.
Oh, here it comes.
Box
Actually,
it's
you know
not
what?
that hard.
You know what? That might be a great segue. Actually, might be a very great, good segue for our. Are we moving on from this topic? Are we done?
Yeah, I'm satiated with that topic, LeRon.
Oh, you're satiated. Oh boy. I'm ready to get off this podcast so I can go eat some of my birthday cake.
Yes.
What kind of cake?
It's Oreo cake.
Oh, yes.
But not
Road
an
trip to
actual,
LeRon's.
but not an actual frozen one. Like it's an actual cake.
Oh,
LeRon, by the
yummy.
way,
Yes.
you just reminded me. I'm driving through Virginia in like 2 weeks.
The cake will be gone by then.
No, I'm not asking for cake.
Oh, you mean hangout? Oh yeah.
LeRon.
This guy.
Oh, by the way,
Get it together.
Stephanie,
Mm.
thank you for my birthday present.
Yay! Victor
It's my boy
Chevalier.
Victor from Tekken 8. Like yeah, like
I like
actually
this.
actually got me to turn the game back on last week.
You know
How'd
what's
that go?
wild? Like when I go
Huh?
to PAX, I hang out at the PAX Arena sometimes because they do the esport tournaments. Oh my god! And those folks be in there like fighting for their life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Tekken crowd's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and move into our as promised. I mentioned it last week when we closed out the show. It's time for Attaboys and Get-togethers. Now, basically, if you don't know what the segment is all about, basically each one of us here on the panel are gonna pick one thing from like if in the industry, whether that is whether. Let me get my words right. My bad. We're going to pick a person, a company, a developer, a game, or something else to shout out as either being done great, attaboy, or something that is being done very badly. Get it together. And this is all recent gaming industry related or otherwise. So, if I were to use an example right now, of an attaboy, I would say, as a matter of fact, my attaboy and Get It Together are going to be all for the same company. Attaboy Capcom. You guys are doing the damn thing. Like you guys are doing well. Like you're another year of like fortuitous profit and stuff like that. But you got to get together because it was at the misfortune of the Monster Hunter Wilds gaming crew and some of the Resident Evil gaming crew, because like we understand like you guys actually want to get your games out. You guys want to like nail in that, that fiscal year and stuff like that. But, putting some of the games out that you did is going to tarnish your reputation for why you've been winning year after year after year on stuff like this and stuff like that's all I'm going to say about this. Like, I love Monster Hunter Wilds, but you guys know exactly what y'all did with this game. You guys know exactly what y'all did. Y'all fumbled at the finish line, and it's a shame because like Capcom, you're not the only company that does this. Like a whole bunch of other companies have done this. Sony's done it. Microsoft has done it. Like a whole bunch of companies have done this. And it's for a company that gets celebrated for a lot of the stuff they do, a lot of the good stuff. Like. We had the conversation last week, Corey, and Corey mentioned how like like the money that they get in all these record sales and stuff like that is what like gives them like the cadence to actually like release like lesser known games. Like instead of releasing a AAA game, they'll release a AA game or even like a B- game, because like they've got the money to recoup from it with their major projects and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like when you're forsaking your major products and projects and stuff like that, like what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I loved you guys. And Capcom, you're not the only company, that does this. Like Ubisoft does this, Konami does this, EA does this. Do you know how badly I would have rioted if Dead Space came out broken? The Dead Space remake. Oh, woof! I still would have played it, but I'd have been very upset.
Oh, sorry, LeRon. It was great, and they didn't make a sequel.
Yeah, I know. So Capcom, attaboy, but also get it together. Jeez. Okay, that's my soapbox. Who's next?
Me. All right. Attaboy for Rockstar. We get another GTA game.
We know somebody who's day one adopter.
Listen, I am making sure I take a vacation that week. I'm not going to work. I already got it planned out. But y'all done pushed it back yet again. So yeah, get it together with that.
If y'all pushing it back 2026, y'all can have the PC version ready at the same time as the console version. That's all I'm gonna say. Get it together, Rockstar.
Get it together, Rockstar. I still love y'all though.
Grand Theft Auto 6 coming to Switch 2. You heard it here first.
Goodness.
Oh, that'd be wild.
It's gonna run at 480p at 21 frames a second, and
I was gonna say
a whole memory card for a texture pack.
If any game were to make the Switch 2 explode, it would be that.
Wildly enough, I wasn't even thinking like that. I was thinking like about the violence in it because I know
trailer.
Manhunt was released for Wii, and I was surprised because that's a Nintendo console, and I'm like, Nintendo is family friendly, but when I heard that, I was like, okay, Nintendo kind of stepping out.
Yeah. Well, family friendly until you see all those like waifu hentai games that you see in the eShop. So hey.
To be fair, they've been removing some of them.
Okay. Well, step in the right direction anyway.
They said they were. Miyamoto's harvesting them in his closet.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of Nintendo, I know it's cliche, but I want to give credit where credit's due. My attaboy is Nintendo because you're releasing a new console in, as of this recording, 2 days. So congratulations.
Watch when we come back to the end of the month. Stephanie's gonna be like, "Get it together, Nintendo. What was his launch?"
Probably, I don't know, but I'll give them credit now.
What is this Cyberpunk?
All right, everybody.
Family friendly until dollar signs.
Everybody mark LeRon's words and let's revisit the next Get It Together. I will laugh so hard. Just
man. I love it. This is such a fun show. And you guys told me to take the night off for my birthday. You guys told me this.
Well, we're thinking about you.
I love you too.
My Get It Together, and I feel like sometimes my Get It Togethers is just an angry lash out to like obnoxious trolls on the internet. This time it's for people that have called Ramsey, the actress that plays Ellie from the Last of Us TV series, literally the worst actress, whatever, in Hollywood. I mean, I believe she's turned off all her social media. Like, the backlash for her is so ugly. And don't get me wrong, like, her character really annoys me from time to time, but like the backlash is just so freaking disappointing. So disappointing. Shame on you, people out there who are doing that.
Hey, you know what?
Shame.
Stephanie,
Shame.
Did you watch the entire second season?
I am on I finished episode 3, so I'm not done yet.
Let me know when you finish. We're gonna get together, do a sit down. We're gonna do a book club.
Cool.
We're gonna do a book club because cool, yeah, because I finished season 2, and and here's something. This is the only thing I'm gonna say about this, so I don't take away from like your whole like get together segment. I've watched season 2, which is basically the first half of like The Last of Us Part 2, the game. I haven't even played the game, so I'm doing something different this time. Like I played the first one to death and was all for the series, when it first started and stuff like that. But I did not play the second one and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna see how the season goes, and then I'm gonna play the second game, start the second game.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm doing a reverse take on this one.
Interesting.
Reverse
might get me in trouble when I actually play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'll make for good conversation. Yeah, I'll definitely let you know when I'm done. I'm trying to get caught up. Like I said, I struggled with the personalities of some characters in 2 anyway, but to play devil advocate to myself, I think that's intentional story writing. But regardless, one should not be so vicious to attack a talented actress for her role to the point where she needs to shut off her social media and be called the worst actress in Hollywood.
It's so funny because like when Bella Ramsey played like Lady of Mormont in Game of Thrones, people were eating that shit up.
Yep. And look what happened now.
And people were eating that shit up. And my whole thing was like, this is like, look at this little upstart. Like, I think she was supposed to be like a 9-year-old girl in Game of Thrones. But like she was basically like the lady of her land because like she was the only surviving heir to the family line, and they were eating that stuff up. And I was like, man, I don't like this character. But Bella Ramsey, when they were cast for Ellie in The Last of Us, the series, and like I actually started watching the series, I was like, hey, like they're doing a great job. I'm saying they because like Bella Ramsey uses they them pronouns. They're doing a wonderful job. No. Bella Ramsey has come out and said that they are good. Like if people want to say say she her or they them and stuff like that, because like when it comes to conventions of Hollywood, there's always going to be a best actor and a best actress. So yeah. So they're cool. They're cool with it, huh?
Somebody might want to tell Neil Druckmann that because in the interview he said she and her the whole time. In an hour and a half interview I listened to.
That's because like she's okay with it. But I think, but you know what? I also want to say something in this, and this is probably an attaboy to Bella Ramsey. The fact that they understand that sometimes people just do not wrap their heads around it as quickly or better than other people is wonderful, because I try my best not to misgender people, especially when people are talking about like however someone wants to be identified. You should respect and pay attention to that and stuff like that. Whether it's I'm identifying as he, him, his pronouns, or whether I'm saying, hey, my name is LeRon and you need to call me LeRon and not Leron. It's the same difference. Like, don't misgender me in the same way that you're not going to mispronounce my name on purpose,
I can't
because
call you Leron.
You better not.
Leron?
Who would do?
People get the letters right in your name. People call me Cody all the time, and it annoys me.
Cody? How do they get that?
I don't know. It annoys me so much.
How do they get that? No. My name has been mispronounced even when it's spelled out in front of them. It's been mispronounced so many times, and I understand there are some common ways that my name can be mispronounced, but at the same time, I'm like, my name has 5 letters. How'd you get like 4 syllables out of it?
Oh no,
LeBaron.
I've had that. You think you're joking, but I've had that. Yeah, but anyway, going back to Bella Ramsey, I've watched the entire season 2. There's nothing wrong with their acting in this. I think people are just feeling like, when we think of Ellie in the game, from the game, we think of Ashley Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we think of. We think of Ashley Johnson, and we think of this character that was rendered in the game that was almost Elliot Page. That's what they think. And by the way, the inspiration for Ellie, also just happens to be a transgender person. So,
I am.
Suck it. I'm sorry. I hijacked your attaboy get together. I'm so sorry, Stephanie.
No, you added a lot of color to it. So that was it. So
people be tripping.
Mm-hmm.
I would say bitches be tripping, but then I will be misgendering certain people.
How dare you? I guess it's my turn, huh?
Yeah, get it together, Corey.
I know. Dude, I'm trying so hard right now.
Corey's like, I'm in charge of Virginia to punch you in the face in 2 weeks.
So my attaboy, I don't remember if I use this or not, but they deserve another one if I did, is Sandfall Interactive and Kepler for just providing us with a gem of an experience in Expedition 33. I finished it at 2:15 this morning because I couldn't stop playing it.
You were addicted, or you were just. Did you have any problems? Did you have any problem with? Because I heard about the final battle is basically like how well are you at parrying? Did you have a problem with that?
Dude, I was so powerful that I one hit the final boss in every phase.
Look at this guy. He took his testosterone shot today. I was so powerful.
So
you see all this hair on my chest from playing and beating this game. I conquered this game.
I actually rushed through the ending because I wanted to finish it before Switch 2 came out. So I rushed through it, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it tonight or tomorrow. So I was like, no, I got to do it tonight. And I wish I would have taken my time, but I'm going to play through New Game Plus, so it doesn't matter. Or
you're going to play it again when it comes out on Switch 2.
Yeah, I will play it again when it comes out to Switch 2. Yes, I will probably buy the physical there and trade or sell my Xbox copy. But I really think they really make you question a lot of things in that game, especially in the second half. I think the character dynamics and relationships are really, you can feel them. You can really I don't know, the great performances, great act, it's just wonderful. I found myself laughing, getting angry, and crying within this game. There's this part I got to last night where I literally laughed out loud. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's this one character who's very sarcastic, and this character challenges another character to a duel, and then a third character is like, "Don't make me participate." The one other character is like, "Please help me." I had to pause the game because I was laughing so hard because of the delivery. And it's just like, oh my god! Plus, the bond between these characters already from playing for so long that it makes it funnier. So it's just, it's a great experience, and I'm itching to play it again, which is something I rarely say, I think, at this point. So, attaboy, Sandfall. I hope this is a one-off, though. I'm not gonna lie, I hope this is just a one-off. They don't try to shove a sequel in or force a sequel. I mean, if it comes naturally to them, and they find a way to make a sequel, then fine. But I just really hope it's a one-off. I think it's a special experience.
What was my question for you? I get
it together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, keep your thoughts.
You muted yourself and then you came back. I feel like one of us says this every single week, but get it together, Xbox, with your strategy. What is it? Tell people what it is. People get anxious when you don't tell them things, even though that's blatantly right in front of them. You need to tell them, because they put their proprietary handheld on hold so they could better. Oh, LeRon disappeared. So they could focus on a Windows 11 mobile experience on ROG Ally devices and partner branded devices. And it's like, oh my gosh, just tell everybody that you're going to do that. Don't make people guess. It's annoying. It's really annoying when you have to guess. It's one thing if PlayStation's planning a new console and speculating that it's fun. And of course, they're not going to tell you that. But when Xbox is doing what they're doing, and they're like seemingly ripping the Band-Aid off while also duct taping your arm at the same time. Like, it's just really annoying. And I don't care that they're putting games on other consoles, or like trying to focus on a PC experience. It's just like their communication has always been awful. I saw Aaron Greenberg tweet out another controller you can't buy yesterday, and that seems to be the only thing they market is things you can't buy. And they're just terrible communicators, and the people that do communicate are always overruled by, Microsoft as a whole. And it's just been a really frustrating fan experience, because I really do like Xbox. I love the experience. I love their run of games in the last year. Like, whether it's, first party or something that they've found and put on Game Pass or something, like, in that aspect, they do a great job. But like, tell us, just tell us what you're doing, what your plan is. Give us a roadmap. Give us what you're thinking. Like, I know that everybody that's leading Xbox right now is going to be out by the time the next console comes out. I don't think that's a secret to anyone. Like, Phil's going to be gone after this next box comes out, I think. Whether he's forced out or he quote unquote retires or moves on or whatever. But I just feel like the people that want to do interesting things are hamstrung by being a part of Microsoft, because they spent $80 billion on Activision and that court case. So anyways, that's my get it together. I like to complain about them, even though I like them. I complain because I love you. Don't talk to me. Let's move along. We have 7 minutes to talk about what we've been playing to get our clips, LeRon.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think I am, Stephanie? Then I will be the sassy pants.
Sassy.
I like sci-fi better anyway.
Sassy pantaloons.
So LeRon is here, but he can't hear anybody for some reason, or yeah, his mouth is moving, but I can't hear him. So what's wrong with your mic? Are you muted?
Can you hear me now?
Did you change? Yeah.
I wasn't muted, but I basically muted it and unmuted it, and that seemed to work. Good. I guess I get to outro the show.
Well,
actually. The only thing I've been playing is Belatro. Well, nope, I'm lying because I did get back on Monster Hunter. Hunter. I had to play the Akuma event quest in Monster Hunter Wilds, which is pretty fun. And also I had to get the freaking the sealed dragon cloth to get that Strider looking scarf that you may see some people running around playing in Monster Hunter and stuff like that. But beyond that, like, I've been playing.
Yes,
I've been playing a lot of Belatro. Like, shoot, like, it's way too addictive. It's way too addictive. It's funny because, like, I'm getting a much better respect for poker now. It's fun. It only took me about a year after it was released to play it, but yeah, here I am. Okay. Well, I guess it's time to wrap up the show, right? Okay.
It is. We have.
All right, cool. Well, I want to thank
seconds.
everyone for watching or listening to this episode of the Boss Rush Podcast. If you joined us live, please give us a follow and subscribe on to the channel you're watching it on. And if you haven't done so already, we would love you for that. If you're watching us on YouTube later, like, once the pro version of the video comes out, please give the video a like and also leave your comments with your thoughts on today's topics, and leave one of your own. We might just turn around and discuss in a future episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, consider leaving us a 5-star rating and a review. You can support Boss Rush on Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network at a tier that's right for you. What was I about to say? Oh, you can even follow for free. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Follow for free, gain access to our base shows all on one feed. Nellie, it was wonderful having you. Like, keep coming back. We love you. We miss you.
Yes, I will.
All right.
I love you guys.
Corey, Steph, thanks. You guys made our birthday evening very fantastic, spectacular. All that stuff. Stephanie, thank you for the t-shirt. I love it.
Thank you.
Corey, thank you for being my friend.
Corey.
And just before I sign off, I want to thank you all again for watching and or listening. We will see you next time for an all-new episode of the Boss Rush Podcast, the one and only flagship show for the network. So long. We'll see you later.
If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, Retro Stoy, and Christian S. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.